Hi everyone, John Mitchell here, Mayor of New Bedford, and this is another installment of the Mayor's Weekly Update. So we've got a round of good news this week. So the first thing was a ribbon cutting at Island Creek Oysters facility on Blackmere Street over by Fleet Fisheries and the fisheries, the Fisherman's Market. A lot of people go to down that way in the south end. What's interesting about this, so what they are is Island Creek is in the business of harvesting and selling oysters. They're based up in the Boston area, and they've got a really good brand. They sell to high-end restaurants really all over the United States and Europe, and they've built up quite a business. And they are expanding. They're expanding in a couple of ways. First, that their distribution's ramping up and they needed a bigger facility. So they looked here for that, but they also are doing something that's different. They are taking their oysters and they're taking other shellfish and they're canning them. And canning seafood is sort of a practice that fell out of favor in the US. It's always been a big thing in Europe, but what they're doing is they're trying to bring it back. And what they've found is you can hermetically seal the can and preserve the freshness of the seafood. So, they can have a can full of quahog meat and cover that up, seal it, and someone can buy it and throw it on pasta, that kind of thing. So for us, there's some jobs created, some decent number of jobs, between 10 and 20 jobs, good jobs. Of course, is the help with the tax base. That's always welcome. But it's also just a really strong brand for us. And Island Creek is pretty well known around the country. And it's another facet of our port economy to have a cannery. This is the first one that's been opened in decades. So we're pleased to have them here. The second thing I want to talk to you about this week is the city found out that it was forgiven by the federal government, by also what's called the state revolving fund of $11.4 million in funds that it had borrowed to build out our wastewater system, to improve our wastewater system, as well as to remove lead service lines from our streets so that we can continue to literally get the lead out of the system. So bottom line is it's $11.4 million less that the city has to pay for this work. So that is a good thing as well. We had a really good press conference this week announcing a set of projects, interconnected projects, to remediate the infiltration of pollution into Buttonwood Pond, Buttonwood Park, Buttonwood Brook, which flows all the way down to South Dartmouth to Upon-a-Gansett Bay. And it's a very fragile ecosystem. A lot of work has to be done, but we're building out a number of so-called green infrastructure, places that capture stormwater, putting plants in that suck up a lot of water, and doing it along a long corridor, as well as making improvements to the parking lot at the warming house, which will help the ecological health of the pond. All good stuff. We really want to make sure that whole area is not just safe, it's safe of course, but to be healthy in the long run, so people can enjoy the park for generations to come. So we got funds from the federal government, we got funds from the Coalition for Buzzards Bay and others. Great team effort, about $2 million in spending on the entire project itself. So just want to thank everybody who was involved in that. It's really going to be a really important investment in Buttonwood Park. So the last thing I just want to say is Election Day is coming up. We've talked about the need for everybody to get out and vote. We all know the reasons why, which range importantly from voting as a way of validating the sacrifices so many who've come before us have made, but also it's our right to be exercised, and it's also a way of communicating to others, folks at the state and the federal level, that New Bedford's a place that counts, and their own electoral maps. That is really important as well. So I hope to see you out there on Tuesday. It's coming up soon, but let's try to get the biggest turnout we possibly can, because it matters in so many ways and on so many levels. With that, this has been the Mayor's Weekly Update. I'll see you next week.